Okay, our second inductee into the Living Hall of Fame. At this time, I would ask for Bill O'Donnell to please come up to the podium to introduce Per Eriksson.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome. I met Per, I think he was about 12 years old, or he still looks about 13, but anyway, at the Meadowlands. And he was the most serious, humble young guy that you'd ever want to meet, and worried about his horses. And he remember he was training for Hans, and he had a horse in a Hamiltonian, and he scratched the horse for whatever reason. He said no, he wasn't right, so he just scratched him. So remember Hans said, that kid's either a real good trainer or he's an idiot. He said, so I'm not sure which, but I think it was the next year Per that he had practice and he won the Hamiltonian. But with Hamiltonian, that week of practice, and he'd never done anything wrong in his life, I don't think, but he was, that afternoon, Hans came in and he said, is Per in there? I said, yeah, he's in the back. So I went back and he was sleeping. So I said, how could that man sleep, with $1.3 million on the line? He's got the favor of the race. And so I woke him up and he said, I've been up all week. It's up to you now. So anyway, a great horseman, a great individual, great family man, and there's no better. So Per, welcome to the Hamilton, or to the Hall of Fame.
Okay, thank you everybody. My QR code is on page 52. Thank you. I have to say it's a pleasure for me to be here with my family. It's a big honor I'm honored to have to be elected into the Hall of Fame, and be here with our family means a lot. This adventure started for me in 1981. I was 20 years old when I first arrived in the States, and I was very fortunate for me to work for Søren and Jarnadine. I still think they are one of the greatest trainers ever. And to be around them and just train beside Søren and just see how he did it was everything for me. This is 4 people that really was important for Sweden stable. First of all, I had a partner. His name was Ingvar Gran, and he was starting the stable. I was young, and we got the chance to open this together. And I felt that I cannot do it alone. I was too young and I was too scared. And Ingvar said, no, we do it together. We're going to be fine. Unfortunately, he got very sick, and he kept himself alive. He had a long time sickness, and he passed away the day after practice of in Hamilton. And it's another, the first important one, the second important one was Mr. Carl Dugan. He's a very good friend to us, and he helped me to run the business, knew how to run the business, and when the money was empty on my account, he put in his money so I can pay the bills, and he was like my second dad. And without him, I don't think we ever can make it. And then was 2 other owners, and there was Hans Engren. He provided us with nice horses, and another fellow was Jackie Hall from Kentucky that provided us with very nice horses, so we can get a good start. I have been very fortunate to be able to train a lot of nice horses, and the one that really put us on the map, like Mr. O'Donnell said here, was Prakas. He was something special, and I have in the story when we went to the trotting derby, he had his own line, this horse, and he didn't want to go to the gate sometime. He stopped on the track and you know how hot it can be out in the coin. And fortunately, I'm very lucky. My wife is very good conditioner. She was running every day, so Billy and Tina was working on that horse. I was probably in the restroom, and we had one shot to get him be able to start the race. And if he not behave after that, he'd be scratched and had to leave. And Tina was running, and O'Donnell was screaming, and she was sweating. And finally, she gave him a lucky kick, and he took off. And he put a new world record after that, and it was the fastest horse ever, fastest trotter ever. So that started our business and the way we started Sweden Stable. The second greatest horse I had was Giant Victory, and he was very nice. We had Jackie Moise. I think it was the first time he ever drew him, and I told him that he's not that fast out of the gate. I think he had 8 or 10 hole. He left out of the gate like never. He was the fastest horse ever, and he was just the strongest that day. And he had a little odd gait, but he took his finish line like it was nobody can catch him. And the third greatest horse, great horse we had a lot of great horses, but that was King Conch and Alf Palema. They were coupled up as a trainer couple, and King Conch was the favorite. Alf Palema, he was a real long shot. You know, he was just in the race because my owner, Mr. Bender, wanted me in the race. So Mickey McNichol was driving Alf Palema, and he had Sonny Persson driving King Conch. And when they get to the last turn, Alf Palema was sitting last, and King Conch was in the lead. And right at the wire, I was standing up at the driving room. When you woke up, there was a little cabinet file they had in the room on the left, and I was standing in that room and looked at the TV, and I saw a horse beat King Conch on the wire, and I got so mad, so I was kicking that file cabinet, so there was pieces. And just a minute later, I find out it was Alf Palema. I had no idea. So that's my 3 nicest horses. We had a lot of other nicest horses. We had Look at Victory, Credit Winner, Giant Victory, Giant Force, Giant Hit, so a lot of them. But that was the 3 really top 3 for and especially when you win the Hambletonian 3 times. Let's see here what we can do now. We had a lot of many owners over the years, and I want to mention a few. We had Jackie and Ted Gevorch, and we had Steve Robbins, and they had all the giant horses. We had Giant Hit, Giant Force, Giant Chill, a lot of nice horses. We went to the sales and picked them out together. We had a lot of fun, right, Ted? And they were not really high-priced horses, but we really did our homework. I remember Steve Robbins, he had a lot of papers on his breeding on his computer, and we went around and looked at these horses, and we bought a lot of nice horses. So we had a lot of fun, and I really appreciate that. We had other good owners. We had Mr. Levine, we had that own Look at Victory, Credit Winner, Dream of Joy, and we had Karl-Erik Bender and Margareta Wallenius, and Marvin Katz, Sam and Al Liebfeld, and we had a lot of more good owners, to mention some. And we had a lot of good crews down the road. When you have a big stable, everything, the name of the game is you have to have a good crew, and we always had good people around here, Tina and I. And what I had to say, to mention some, it's we had Thomas Anderson, Per Augustsson, Joe King, Jonas Cernesson, and they were second trainers, and some were grooms, and then I had the one that did a very nice job for us to keep our checkbook in order. It was Mr. Lynn King, sitting there. Without her, we probably never made it either, honestly. These 20 years in America has made me and to I am today. America is where my family was made, when our children was born. Dennis, Vanessa, Niklas, and Maria. And forever, Tina and I forever going to be very thankful for American harness racing. And this is a great honor for me to be Hall of Fame. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.